I am back. I had some food in my tummy. Alright, well, those of you looking for Rocket League gameplay, it's probably not gonna happen. Even though I kinda do feel like playing, and after reviewing all of these videos, there's a lot of shit about Scuff Station, yeah, or not Scuff Station, that's the other one, Space Station Gaming, and about Reddles and all of that being kicked out of the team, and people are fuming, and a whole bunch of other shit. Well, somebody has bombed me and told me that I don't know anything about what I was talking about over the shit I went over last time about business being just business and figureheads and everything like that. They stated that Reddles is miles and miles better than Arsenal. And apparently I've never played any type of sport, I've never played Rocket League in my life, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, I'm going to look into everything live on stream. However, I'm not going to do it the way that they're expecting. They expect me to go and review every little thing that's, you know, going on and what happened in the particular tournaments and things like that. No, no, no. What I'm going to look at today is this. The most heartbreaking end to the tournament, RLCS, Winter Major, all of that shit with G2 and all of that. That was posted April 18th of 2022. This is what I'm about ready to look at. We're going to go through, we're going to see how everything's happening and all of that, you know, etc., etc. However, we're going to do things a little bit different. I'm not going to look at the match and see who's better and who's performing and all of that. I'm not going to go to some RLCS and pull things off. No, 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 no. Because see, that would be... Let me block this off for a second. That would be too easy. I could easily pull up the RLCS and I could do one of my Q1 ops and do a, you know, super strict replay analysis to see where, you know, they made any type of mistakes or errors or things like that, and I can continue going on from there, you know, on and on and on and on and on. No, 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 no. That's not what we're going to do. So today, now that I have chat pinned, somebody asked me, by the way, what my pinning app looks like. It is here. Let me show you the easy script that I have, now that I'm thinking about it. First, you have to download AHK. This app. I forgot what it's called. Something hotkey. The A stands for something. AHK, yeah, AHK. Something hotkeys. I don't remember the name of the program off the top of my head. Guess I could just open it and find out. Auto hotkey. There you go. Auto hotkey. Download that shit. Open up a WordPad. Name it whatever. Save the name as whatever you want to put. I just named it Pen Windows Top Script. In there, copy and or paste this exactly how it is. Save the file as a .ahk, or you can just go through the program itself, open the program up. On the top, it's going to have something that says edit, so it's going to say create script, not edit script, because you'll be opening up the program itself. You'll have an introductory screen here. You cancel that, and then you go over and I don't know if I have the program on my desktop or not. No, and I don't know where it's at, so. But there'll be an introductory, and over here on the side it'll say create script. You hit create script, it'll open up its little script thing like this, or you can just do like this and just type this out and save it as a .ahk to make it convert over to where it can be used by auto hotkeys. Just make sure that .ahk is at the end. And that's all you gotta do. The little up arrow means control, and space, the colons and all of that, when set, comma, always on top, comma, space, comma, space, A. And this makes it that if you touch a window and highlight a window and you press Control and Shift at the same time, it will pin that window to the top. And that's just the basic script that I made for that. So when I have OBS upgraded or out, if I unpin it, it's just Control and Space again. And I go to, let's say, YouTube. Chat no longer pops up because chat's part of OBS. It's an OBS thing. However, if I click it and then I press Control and then Space, now it's pinned to my actual window. It's going to always be the top screen. And if I switch back between it to go to YouTube, boom, the chat's going to always stay on top. So there's the script in the program, auto hotkeys. The script is right there in front of you where you can just basically just type that shit out and then save it. All you have to do, save it to your desktop. And when you save it to your desktop, it'll save into a file that looks like this. And all you gotta do is just click on it. As soon as you double click on it, it'll launch the script right there, pin Windows top, script.ahk. And it's good. It says .ahk because I named it .ahk, and then it's in .ahk because I did it inside of the program. Kind of redundant, but it does the same thing. And I have a Spotify script that I made that makes it to where I can pause, switch songs, and all of that via script. I have Hamachi, for those of you that play Rocket League should know what Hamachi is, so when it crashes and does something stupid, it automatically relaunches it. So I never have to worry about Hamachi not working and happen to restart my computer. And then I have it to where I can pin my chat in any other window that I desire, one over the other one. Keep in mind that this does not work over exclusively full screen applications. Those full screen applications, excuse me, take precedence over any and everything, unless it's, you know, like a Windows function or something like that. But they take precedence over any and basically everything because of the way they're set up. See how this also disappears. If I minimize the main program that it's in via OBS, it makes the entire chat box disappear. So OBS does have to remain open. However, if you don't want OBS to be, you know, in your way, drag it to your second monitor or just drag it out of the way, and then you can open up whatever you need to open up. This will still go over the OBS thing because I only specifically pinned this window. Anything has got like a window around it, and, you know, an X to close it and all of that's its own separate window. So this will go over OBS, but it won't go over the chat. And that's the pinning app that I'm talking about to see chat. It just makes it easier for me because I have everything running on one screen. So instead of having OBS just, you know, on the side, I just make it the way whatever I need, I can pin up. You know, if I'm having audio issues, I can just pin that to the side with the chat and all of that. You know, just boom, fix the audio while looking at chat, or if I'm trying to change something, or if I want to mess with any other settings or change screens or scenes or anything. These are hotkeys, but I don't ever remember the hotkeys for them. Things like that, I can just take it out and pin it. So the one person that asked about my pinning script and all of that, there you go. Auto hotkeys, go in, type exactly what you've seen on screen via the program, hit enter, and then you just press Control and space. Which again, I guess I can show you the script again. It's not that big of a deal. When you open Make sure you don't open it with the actual program unless you're trying to go in and, you know, do some stuff. Always open it with WordPad if you're wanting to adjust the script. You have to open it with WordPad to adjust the script readily available, or you'll have to go through the AutoHotkey program and do a whole bunch of stupid shit. So again, the little up key like that, which is just control, space, colon, you want to leave a space in between there too. When set with the capital W, comma, space, always with capital A, always on top, being what it's supposed to do, comma, there's a space there, comma, space, then A. That's the script one last time. And that'll allow you to just click on any window that you have on your computer, press Control, the left control button, and space, and it'll pin whatever you want on top. And even if I full screen this, it doesn't really do anything. When I go back to this screen, chat's gonna always be on top. So, I mean, again, this is fine until you press the minimize button, then it minimizes the entire program. I just leave it open like this when I'm playing games, because this isn't gonna do anything to my games. It's not gonna make me lag or anything. And I can just, while I'm playing the game, if I click over here on chat, it'll instantly bring me back to the OBS menu right on top of the game. So I can just click here, go boom, adjust scenes, do whatever I need to do, and then click back down into the game or press Alt Tab or something to go right back into the game. It's unobtrusive, so you ain't gotta worry about it getting in the way of any programs or anything like that. It is the basic of basics of scripts. So if you are working on a single monitor, or if you're working on a dual monitor and you have something that you just want to keep on the top of everything that keeps disappearing, very good. Especially if you're like playing a game or something where you have to remember symbols and shit. Instead of switching back to a notepad, typing the symbol or word phrase or something down, and then going back into the game and then looking back and forth as you're trying to type everything in, you open up a notepad, you pin it to the side somewhere inconspicuous, pin it, go back into your game. As long as it's not exclusive full screen, you can do Windows borderless, it's fine. It's not exclusive full screen, and you can play in your game and all of that, while also having that notepad up, and then you can just transfer and do everything you need to do. It's a very good app, very good script. I do recommend it for everybody. And the best thing about it is it prevents you from having to buy software to pin things. Because most times you try to find a pinning app, it comes with a bunch of other quality of life shit. It's part of a package to something you have to buy. It's 100% free. AutoHotkeys is free. The script is right in front of you, so you don't even have to even pay anybody to make the script or take any classes for it. You can just copy that shit, put that shit down, and then boom, it done. Works for you. I'm not going to show you the Spotify script. I'm not going to show you the Hamachi script. You can figure that out on your own. Which by this time, somebody probably already has like that and a whole bunch of other scripts posted on the website for free any goddamn way. But I will show you the pinning script because you actually have to pay for that shit in most cases, or go through a long, drawn-out, and annoying process. And a viewer asked me, so I don't mind divulging some secrets when I'm directly asked, you know, hey man, how do you get that shit to stay up? It doesn't work for me. Because I'm using a script for it. Either way, beyond all of that, let's hop into this shit. This shows their comms and shit. I don't think the comms is like super important because it's going to be confusing and it's going to have to talk over it. But let's go on through. Again, all of this is from Reddles' view off of his channel. Will I get a copyright strike for this? Probably, but I mean, I am going to be talking and adding in my own information to it. No, I'm not going to do the entire 26 minutes. I've actually limited myself to an hour, so I have 45 minutes left for the entirety of this. It shouldn't take that long, but here we go. So as we're playing through, off of kickoff, Reynolds goes in for a kickoff, all of that, whatever happens. Goes up, Arsenal comes in with a very good save off of right at the start, the very first game. Reynolds doesn't exactly get the kickoff that he's looking for. And if you watch, when he's coming in for that kickoff, instead of going and getting, you know, that perfect speed flip or fast flip or whatever the fuck you want to call it, he floats for a little bit too far. And he ends up out extended more than what he wants to be. So then he tries to counteract it by flipping into it from the side. Chicago, being, I guess, as bright as he is right there, sees that Reynolds has fucked up his kickoff and counters in perfectly for that. And yes, I'm going to be super harsh because these are pros we're talking about. These ain't champs. These are pros. They're getting paid to do this shit. So I'm going to be a little bit more brutal than what I generally would be. Because he fucks up and tries to go into that kickoff, and Chicago plays that nicely, and his buddy follows him, J-Naps comes and takes a touch. Now, I know this is high octane and things like this, but I mean, right off of that, J-Naps could have just scored their net immediately. Bam. But instead, he hits it over Daniel and tries to go for a goal. Arsenal, who picks up Boost, had the wherewithal and the skill set to turn around and get this touch. Beautifully, I mind you. He didn't clear that shit to his sidewall to where they could be waiting and put that shit back into his net. He gets a beautiful clear out. So, Reynolds gang, who loves the shit out of Reynolds and says he's better than Arsenal and all of that, know without a doubt in mind, guess what? Reynolds is human too, and he makes mistakes. His teammate and Arsenal picked up his fucking mistake there. Who would have thought that teammates helped each other? Not one teammate's better than the other teammates. Who would have thought that every teammate just plays the position that they're assigned, and it doesn't matter how skill set or how much better somebody else is. Everybody on your team, and any team, has an assigned role. For those of you that are dumbasses that have never played a sport in your fucking life, guess what? There's a lot of people that have skills that are never realized because they don't get the option to do that because they're assigned a specific role. It's like basketball, you have like point guards and shit like that. Football, you have your quarterbacks, you know. Things like that. Some people on the team are assigned a role to be that aggressive fuck that carries the ball, uses the extent of their mechanics to make those good plays. While other teammates have the role of being the third man or the back man, and they have to chill the fuck out, and they can't do anything too flamboyant or too anything mechanically based or anything like that. That's how teams go. You can't have everybody being a chief and everybody putting up plays and shit. Somebody has to back off to allow the other people to excel at what they're doing. I don't understand. Well, I mean, I know how it's that hard because half of these motherfuckers that are talking shit haven't played a fucking sport in their goddamn life. They've never actually been on an actual team. And from the little bit of work experience that they have, they don't understand that, or they don't have the brain or the processing power to understand that, hey, when you're working a job, your job is just important as everybody else's job. Sure, you might be the one picking up paper and shoving it in the machine, but without somebody to do that, nobody else in the rest of the factory can look. You're just as important as that motherfucker who's writing the script and all of that goes on the damn paper. This is what the population is missing. Machines are a complex series of parts. Software. Well, I should say software and hardware. with programming, etc., put into it. Not one person is going to out excel the others. And if one person is leagues above the rest, the other two wouldn't be with that one person. They would be up there with the gods, and they would be winning every tournament from start to end in Rocket League. They would just be out there clapping the cheeks of anybody that comes in. They would be leagues above the rest of the people in Rocket League. They would never lose a single match throughout the entirety of the championship or tournament, whatever you want to say. But then you got the dumbasses in the comments section. Riddle shouldn't have been traded out to another team. He's leagues above Arsenal. Well, if you didn't know, Riddles is the solo play, like, aggressive type of boy on their team. That is his job. That is his assignment. So if Riddles ain't putting goals into the net and playing his job, you know, proficiently, and they're not getting those victories and all of that, then something has to change. Well, I'm not saying it's Riddles' fault, because again, business is business. If you're playing through a tournament, which you know is a huge amount of money at the pot, and you're unable to pull a victory because you get shit on by another, you know, team, you're not going to run the same team next year just for them to get shit on again. No, you're going to transfer out and roster out more people in. You're going to find people that are better, and you're going to go out and you're going to grab them and you're going to put them on your roster. Anybody that's played sports, players are traded all the fucking time in sports. This ain't anything new. It's not. And it's funny how all you fucking dumbasses go into that shit. Riddles is leagues above Arsenal. Leagues above Arsenal. He's better than him in any other way. Why is Riddles getting traded out? Because Riddles didn't make the cut when it comes to playing his position. Let's say Riddles is better than Arsenal in playing the, you know, strong forward, you know, position and all of that. Cool. Who the fuck cares? It's not Arsenal's position. If Arsenal was leagues above Riddles, Arsenal would be the point boy, and Riddles would be the back man or the second man, second or third man. You know what I'm saying? But no, each one of them specializes in what they're good at. The ones that you always say that ain't doing shit because they're not out there pushing and all of that, they're playing their positions pretty fucking amazing. That was another person. Alright. They're playing their positions pretty fucking amazing. They fucked up on kickoff. Arsenal comes in, gets this nice little clear. First 3 seconds of the match. On the clock, that is. Already fulfilling his obligations to his role, or what he was supposed to be doing. I don't understand where these mixed bias, you know, talks and things like that come from. I don't. They're on a team. When they get together and practice, they practice their positions and their teamwork and all of that other stuff. I guarantee you that everybody on their team's not practicing the same thing. I mean, there's basic fundamentals that you should be practicing, but I guarantee you they're not all practicing the same shit over and over and over. So as you get into a team and you fulfill a specific role, you're going to get better at that role, but you're going to be worse at doing other things. It's how teams work. Tired of seeing comments and a whole bunch of other stuff, and then getting bombed because some dumbass tries to call me out when he don't even understand what the fuck he's talking about. Go watch a goddamn actual sports team. Get out of your esports shit and watch an actual sports team. The ones getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Look into that shit. Look at the team rosters and shit like that and how often they change. Quit opening your ignorant ass fucking mouth when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I get tired of having to explain myself over and over to the mediocre crowd that just wants to immediately say, oh, he said something bad about Reddles. I have to now fire back now. Fire your fucking shot. I'll slap that shit out of the fucking sky, and I'll pull up my fucking Tommy gun and light your ass up. And you get one bullet, I got about 1,000. That's the difference between the both of us. Now, if I'm wrong about something, and you can cite an actual, you know, sources, and give a logical explanation, and actually prove me wrong, good luck with that, by the way. And it's not on some petty shit, like, oh, well, it's 3/4 and 1/8, not just 3/4 cube type shit, and it's not some petty shit. Then by all means. Because honestly, that's just that shit that kind of Macho does, is he gets some of that petty shit. And that's generally what we end up arguing about. Because I'll be like, oh, well, you know, there's 365 days in a year, and he'll be like, no, Q, on a leap year, there's 366 days, just to kind of be a smart ass about it. And then I'll go down on that shit, and I'll go higher. 365 days and 1/4. 365 and 1/4 days in a year. It's exactly how much it is. And that includes the leap years and all of that shit. And then I'll go one higher. And then it's best. So, like, I know exactly how much it is. I'm rounding. It's like when somebody's being rhetorical or saying something, you know, to kind of be funny about something, and you have that one stickler. Well, actually, shut the fuck up and look up what the fucking word, you know, satirical, rhetorical, things like that mean. Nobody gives a fuck what your counter statement is, because you're probably going to be incorrect, or you're going to state the obvious that everybody else and their mom understands, because you're a mediocre piece of shit that don't even know what the hell's going on in your goddamn life. This is the type of shit that I don't get, and this is also why I don't like the majority of people. You're the type of person that somebody says something and you immediately give a response, or you immediately have to make a comment or statement or something that ain't even, you know, adding on to the conversation. You can go fuck yourself and stay the farthest way from me as possible. Because I guarantee you we're not going to get along. We're not. Go find another small streamer that'll bend to your will. And listen to what you have to say. Because I'm going to be rude, I'm going to admonish you, and then I'm going to kick you out on your ass and I'm going to ban you when you're at your all-time low. Then I'm going to talk shit about you, and then I'm going to move on with the stream and say thank you for the free content. About half an hour left. So here, Arsenal gets a very good clear. As the clear is going through, Reddles comes back, goes up the wall, goes for an easy touch over. Now, here, this is a good look by Reddles to delay his touch and what he's going for right now. This is kind of the thing in camp that people don't look forward to. Because most times you would think that Reddles on this particular situation would just go out and bop that over to his teammate. However, his teammate's backwards. If he jumps up and blasts this shit downfield, he's basically throwing this fucking ball away. It's gone. It'll go to their side, and it'll just be, you know, loose to everybody. His teammate's actively and very fast moving back. There's no boost in the middle that was spawned up. You can see that he did not get that boost that was there. So he waits a little bit to get control of the ball and lets his teammate go on by instead of hitting it out and then saying, teammate, where the fuck are you going? Where are you going, teammate? Your teammate didn't grab that boost in the middle. And what generally happens is the champ that's on the wall gets the ball downfield to the other side, sees his teammate not go for it, gets pissed, jumps off the wall, flies, boosts over, and then tries to challenge the ball and all of that. When your teammate was never properly set up, yeah, he was there, but he doesn't have the boost because that shit was stolen and wasn't there on his way back. He's not gonna drive back down the fucking middle of the map, you know, and where the actual play is happening. You're coming up, and as he's coming up, again, he's coming up the wall. And if Reddles elects to carry it down, take it anywhere in this side right here, if his teammate's coming through and rotating in like this, he's going opposite post rotation, by the way. If your teammate elects to come back like this at some weird ass funky angle, he's going to create a problem. Now, if Daniel was to come across and like demo this guy or something like that on his way through, then that's a different story. You're not creating that kind of problems. I mean, it'd be pointless because there's two other defenders out on the field. But I mean, you know, if he was awkward on the wall, had no momentum, and wasn't reading it properly, and he was like, help, I can't get that. If Arsenal went in there to, you know, help him out or something like that, and his teammate noticed he was struggling, he could go for a bump and then give him the ability to just fake this down and get ball control later on. But instead, he looks good, plus the written communication. Active comms for pro are non-stop, by the way. A good look, good call out. He holds it down, and then he tries to take control, pushes it out. Arsenal's there for support. Arsenal hits it past the other guys. Daniel tries to go up for support, goes back when he sees he can't get it. You know, things like that are happening. Here, Arsenal's out looking for, you know, a touch off wall or for Daniel to send it that way, but this guy challenges early. Here, Reddles is kind of out of position. He's too far up. So he's going to have to turn around and do something to get, you know, control of his ball. There's nothing wrong with his positioning. It's just going to be awkward for him. In essence, he's going to have to either turn quick to try to pick it up off the wall before it goes in front of goal, or he's going to have to turn around and try to catch that shit. Because it's an open fly ball right now. Right now, I don't know how much speed is on this, but I assume it's going to be a pinch, so it's just going to go zoom, boom, boom in front of goal. Arsenal's looking out. If anybody tries to challenge from that side, he'll probably bump or demo or do something to support his teammate. So he needs to worry about, you know, watching Arsenal and also watching where the ball goes. However, Daniel was never in complete control of the ball, and Reddles kind of went up too early. You see this? It is bouncing off of his car, and he's avoiding a demo. That demo made him come out of position because it was a demo attempt. After avoiding that demo, he shouldn't be, you know, on the corner and all that sniffing. Instead of sniffing, he decided to head up. Don't let people go in for demos when you dictate your positioning. Don't do it. Arsenal's already up. Daniel's already up. They're setting up a play. There's no reason for him to ever come into this particular area. Daniel don't have control until right about this area, and he's still not completely in control. So this guy's going to naturally early challenge before he gets in control. This is what I'm talking about in Champ, where I'm like, he's not in control of the ball challenge. Daniel is not completely in control of the ball. He's still trying to get control. This is where you need to challenge this. He hasn't noticed at all. He is still pushing forward because that guy pushed him out of his position and all of that off of that demo attempt. If he hadn't corner sniffed and done all that other stuff, the other guy that came in the demo him would have probably just went on that and then went over the red and boost in the other corner. But because he was corner sniffing, that guy forced him to move. Pros corner sniff too. Even if it's a bad thing to do, they still do it. Pros still double challenge, basically the same position and stuff. They still do it too. It's just not as bad because he has recovery skills and he knows he can get back if he needs to in most cases. The only problem is, after this gets beat, he has to immediately react and go for this. This is awkward as hell, so he's not going to have, you know, the ultimate control. He's going to have to basically put the touch over and defend it. So now that he's up backwards, Arsenal should be reading what's going on. Arsenal should be able to see what's going on. Arsenal can probably go ahead and catch that if he's fast, or if there's somebody from the other team already challenging, Arsenal will go back to goal, and I'll leave it to Daniel to make a play with him. So there, because he was corner sniffing and all that, he doesn't get the chance here to make a good play. Now he has to pull some shit out of his ass, and now he's awkward. Again, the difference between you and Champ corner sniffing and doing this and a pro doing this is the pro has the recovery skills and speed to get back to that point. Whereas the Champ, as soon as it goes over, hell, even GCs, as soon as that shit goes over, a lot will just go into goal and just sit there and hope that the other teammate can pick that shit up. You don't have that luxury in the high level. You either make that touch and try to get that, or somebody else is challenging to make a play on you. So here, he's awkward, makes that touchdown, and then tries to follow it, as you always should. Always follow your touches. Do not touch the ball all the way across to where you can't follow it. Put it somewhere where you can continuously pressure that shit and continuously force them to play good. Here, he's not planning on winning that. He has 0 boost. And he sees that his buddy's back to help him. So after this, he lands low and then bumps this guy, Atomic, as he's trying to be aggressive and push on his goal. Because he knows that he got people back that can support him. He knows Daniel's going to be somewhere around the goal, Arsenal's going to be right behind him. Plus, they're in comms. Worst case scenario, he hits Atomic into the boost and loses it and can no longer push up. But he has 2 teammates behind him. Best case scenario, he knocks Atomic to the side, goes forward, grabs this boost, gets the ball passed to him, and they make like a breakaway play, or they just get a lot of pressure on the opponent's side. I don't know what happens, I guess. I haven't played this. I haven't seen this video. He bumps him away. He grabs the boost. However, there's the second challenger. Again, he knows he has people behind him, so he doesn't need to panic and go boosting straight back. At this point, if this guy gets the ball past his defender, he's not going to make it back in time to make any kind of save. So there's no point in him boost dumping to try to get back. Arsenal's already there. Daniel is already there on the well, defending the touch and all of that shit. Worst case scenario, Daniel gets demoed or bumped or some shit here. Or the ball gets kicked out the center where Arsenal can react to it. Best case scenario, Daniel somehow wins this, it goes over to him, and he shoots that shit or makes any type of play. Again, he is their lead man, their flamboyant goal scorer and all of that. Their one-man, running squad, the solo dolo player / the playmaker, and all of that shit. He's the scorer and all of that, the front man, the number one. So he's supposed to stay up and play the further positions and all of that. Whereas these two are kind of the supports and all of that. Let's go through. Arsenal covers Daniel because the ball comes off of wall and bounces awkwardly for them. Daniel waits to see what Arsenal can do because Arsenal's closer at that point. Arsenal does what he's supposed to do and gets another fantastic clear. Again, Rebels could not get back at all. At all. To help them save this particular goal. It's not going to happen. Don't waste your time in boost dumping getting back. If Rebels would have stayed where he was and trusted his team and all of that, and that's one of them called him back. I don't know the cons and all of that. He would have been up and in a challenge for this particular ball. Would he have gotten it? Probably not. There's going to be another person heading towards that blue team. However, you being there and posturing that person makes them unable to do specific touches and get any type of ball control. Because now, Arsenal just got an awkward clear and all of that and really hasn't had a chance to get anything but pads. Now, has to land and then challenge this shit to make a play by himself, basically. I don't think by himself, but he has to land, try to grab boost if he can, you know, try to make a play. Atomic's up his ass now, etc., etc. Now, the smart thing to do in this particular position, Daniel's already in goal, so he has no reason to go to goal. He should just turn back out when he sees that Arsenal's following. Turn out and go across towards their opposite corner of where he's at, the opposite corner where he's at, this way. I don't have my epic pin on. Hoping that Arsenal can get back to this ball, make some sort of challenge, and pass the ball over to him to make some sort of breakaway play. But he needs to head out this way and let Daniel cover goal and all of that. And if shit don't work, Daniel will go for a save, Arsenal will come in for backup, and then he can make his way back if need be. I don't know what he does. Let's find out. He does. He goes up and around to support Arsenal. But Arsenal, I guess, says he has 0 boost or some shit, and Daniel comes up. It's risky with Atomic being there. If Atomic makes some sort of weird-ass fucking touch, Arsenal's wheels are not on the ground. Daniel's up, and he's up looking for a pass. This is kinda sorta an all-or-nothing play, because if Atomic can get some small-ass touch over them, any one of his teammates that are probably lurking back could probably get there and score that, or Atomic could pop it over him, or dribble and do whatever you need to do. This is risky. This is very, very risky. But like I always say, it's better to challenge earlier than later. If he challenges this early, he forces Atomic to make a smaller touch than sitting back and letting Atomic get free, full field control on him. So coming up early, if he calls it out that he's going for it to his teammates, that is, might work, because he can then, if he needs to, turn back and cover net, and Arsenal, you know, can land and turn back and cover net. If, you know, worse comes to worse. But this is a very risky play to do, but sometimes, you know, you got to. It goes through. Atomic decides he wants to shadow and lets him basically touch the ball from himself. Now, Atomic, being so far up in the field and having his teammates back behind him on the backfield, should have definitely challenged this earlier. But he probably doesn't have boost or anything, you know, enough boost to challenge and make any kind of play. However, again, it's better to challenge these early than later. And I know some dumbass is going to come in and be like, imagine criticizing pros in their actual plays. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if they're bronze, silver pros, you know, SSLs, GCs. There's things that you're supposed to do in these particular situations. There's a script for Rocket League, and there's things you're supposed to do. Atomic running away, he had better have somebody actively challenging this shit, because if nobody's actively challenging this shit while he's running away, he's giving them a lot of space to make a play. They got a guy that's sitting here waiting on a pass, even though he's not really lined up to score the goal. It'll be like a very strict angle. But I mean, you can always turn his car or do whatever and make him a shot. It's the abilities of the pro. Arsenal's there, Daniel's there, they're there. They can make a pretty sick, nasty play if his teammates aren't positioned properly or anything like that. That just adds to the pressure. But you can alleviate most of that pressure just by going for a fake challenge, fake something. At least posture them and don't actively be running from the ball in situations like this. Pros might be able to pick up some amazing things, but I mean, if you make it easier for them, you know. Ball gets pushed out. This is kind of where I'm questioning what the fuck's happened. Now, Arsenal, we know, is low on boost and all of that, and he's still pushing the play, and now he's bumping Atomic so he can't challenge. Smart. If Atomic would have challenged earlier, Arsenal wouldn't be able to do this and pressure him to the back of the field. He would have challenged interrupted their play, probably got demoed afterwards, but, you know, Arsenal would be now stuck over there, and then they would have to make a play. For whatever reason, I don't even know why in this particular situation, but Reynolds is turning around and heading back towards his net. I mean, no man's land's not a good space to be in, and like I always say, you either fully commit in no man's land or you go back. But going back is the odd decision here. Especially when he has, you know, basically full boost, especially if he picks up pads. I don't understand this, and Arsenal is, you know, bumping him off the ball and all of that, giving chance for, you know, Daniel to make a play and all of that. You can stay closer, and then when things start looking dangerous, you know, GTFO. If you use, you know, your game sense and things like that. But let's see what happens. Let's see if this is the right call. Goes through off wall. Somebody got fucking demoed. I can't tell because chat's there, but somebody got demoed. Now, besides the smoke screen and all of that going basically both ways, they now have control of the field, and they have all of this field from here all the way back and around to play with. Because Ruddles isn't up pressuring a play or any of that. Daniel's by himself. All he can really do is try to go for a solo play, or he can stall the ball for Arsenal to spawn up and everybody to get boost and positioned properly. So all of this pressure Ruddles had being there and being able to do something here is now it's gone. So now Daniel really can't make a play unless, you know, again, it's a solo play. They get control of the ball, and lo and behold, Ruddles coming back turns all the way the fuck back around, and now he's heading back up. It's the same thing that I say with champs. Why come back when you could stay up and already be part of this play? Why come back? Why go back? Plus, Arsenal got demoed on top of that shit, so he's already gonna be back, which is why he started turning back upfield. But I'm also like, why go back in the first place? You had a position where you were, and you could have been actively helping Daniel challenge this. Now, he could have been the first one there, because he's the one that started all of this, and he could have been helping Daniel out, making a play. But instead, he went all the way back, and now he's coming back up along the side and all of that. Why? Why turn around now? Why even go up now? Goes up. He pre-jumps from backfield when he could have been up in there, preventing them from getting any type of clear or anything like this. He has to jump for this. Because if you don't, Arsenal's going to spawn up, have to grab boost, and then do something fucking crazy. So not only does he have to touch this in some way, shape, or form, he has to touch it in a way to where Arsenal can get to it, Daniel can come back in and get this. So he gave them the ability, Reynolds gave them the ability to make this Mungo Dungo clear here, when he could have been pressuring the fuck out of them, and keeping them along their side, and keeping them pressured. He goes up, makes a good first touch. And what do I always say? What do I always say? He goes up, gets a very nice first touch. From here, there are a lot of things that he could do at this moment. He knows that nobody's challenging him right now off of the first touch. And nobody challenging his ass. He has a lot of time to do whatever he needs to do. What does he do that I fucking hate? That even pros and shit do in these situations when they have blackout moments. Guarantee you, because he can't see what's in front of him now, he wants to try and keep control of the ball. But you know that that guy's not going to be jumping towards you right now, because he's on his way, you know, rotating back. Tries to hit a fucking flip reset. Why? You know that he's not in a good position, because you watched him. You watched this entire thing happen. You know that he's not in a good position. Look, you know they're not in a good position. Look, Look, as you're doing this, you know he's not in a good position. Why are we going for flip resets here? Why? Why go for a flip reset there? Even if he manages to get past one defender and all of that and does something cheeky, now has to get past Chicago. The only way that he's probably going to be able to get that is if he gets it either cheekily under and gets it like top left corner or like bottom right corner if Chicago goes too high. You've slowed down your own play and your own shot. With the amount of mechanical skills Reynolds has, all you had to do is push that shit up against the fucking wall and double touch that shit. Easy goal. Don't matter if they're pros or not. When your goal is open, your goal is open. You can't cover the shit if the shit's open in areas. Tries to go for a flip reset, which he slows the ball down by doing, giving him the free pickup. That should have been in their net. That should have 110% been in their fucking net. Instead, we go from 78 boost, here first touch 40 boost. That's enough for a double touch, or just a regular, touch in afterwards off ceiling. Now we're down here with 14 boost, and now we're flip reset. Misses what he's going for, but he can't use the flip because his flip resets out to the side, so he has to keep his car closed for a low 50. Again, Chicago's flip stopped right on that little edge, so even if, his other teammate and all of that split past it or something like that, he'd be able to pick that shit up because it's going to be a slow touch. That should have been in their fucking net. Blue team should have gotten scored on it. That is one goal. And this is, as you see, the Winter Major. This is for keeps. This is for money. This is the highest form of ranked play that you could be in. And you, as one of the main scorers, ain't scoring. It's one goal right there that should have went in. Goes through. He does what everybody else does in any type of Rocket League scenario. Oh, I missed the ball and I didn't get what I was going for. I'm going to go bump somebody. Why? You have 0 boost. As you come in like that, flip into the motherfucker, send him over into their corner so he can't go, and then head back. Flip into Chicago and send his ass to the corner where all of his other teammates are challenging. From there, he has to reposition himself far outfield. Because if he follows them along this corner, he's leaving all of his field open, which is be great if you manage to put him over there, and he does that. And now he does because he seems smart. And he'll probably have to reset himself by going back out to cover everything in this particular field area. You just slowed down their play. And now, if J-Naps tries to make any type of passing play, Chicago's going to be slow to getting back down there towards that. And that's taking one guy out of the equation and weakening their play from the back. Doing these small-ass bumps with 0 boost and letting him get away from you, though, isn't really good recovery. In that case, you should have ignored bumping him, landed, and then turned around, and left. Grab pads and started heading back, or disrupting the play if you see the opportunity to. This is a terrible recovery, especially with 0 boost. And guess what? If he hadn't have went for the flip reset, he would have had just a little bit more boost to be able to make a very good or a decent recovery off of, instead of being 0. But beyond that, we go through. Arsenal gets a very, very sketchy touch, but he does follow it. I wish I could zoom in to see where his score is right now. Off of that wall, he hits it down, but 2 of their defenders are already covering if he tries to want to go this way, or if he tries to take it across or something. He's going to run into an issue. Daniel, for whatever reason, ain't anywhere near goal. He's just chilling here. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing sitting there, but whatever. And they got a guy that's kind of up and in between them. This is a kind of a dire situation. Now, if Arsenal can get in control of this and then blast this across, Daniel might be able to pick this up, or Reddles can go grab boost and then pick this up and try to make a play off of it real quick like. I don't know what happens, so let's find out. Arsenal gets a bad touch. It don't look like he had any type of boost or anything to finish the particular play. So Arsenal, after getting that missed touch down, looks like he just gave the ball to them. Daniel now has to turn around some awkward ass way and try to defend that. Arsenal gets a very nice, clean fix to his fuck up by passing that shit over. Again, there is no point in you grabbing boost and then boost dumping to go back to your goal. These guys are a lot closer and going to be a lot faster in scoring your net before you get there to support your players. Don't panic and boost dump to get back, and don't come in at a dumb angle to where they can hit the ball and then you jump and like, oh, or some shit. You gotta trust your teammates. And you have to understand that if your teammates miss this ball, it's in your net. There's nothing you can do. Excuse me. So bearing that in mind, him boost dumping and doing shit like that, if Daniel was to make a clear off of Chicago, who, by the way, is heading back to his net to cover his goal and all of that, if they don't get control of the ball with their, aggressive play, and one of them tries to pass the ball over to where Reddles should be, this could be a second goal for them. But instead, Reddles is boost dumping, trying to get back as quick as fuck. There's no need to try to get back as quick as fuck like this. Again, even if something happens and they end up, challenging 50 and having to save the ball again, they're going to get there faster for the second ball than you're going to get there. So you're looking at least 2 iterations of goal shots to happen before you'll even be useful to the actual play. It's just not worth it. Boost dumping for it. Well, let's see if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Passes it over. Oh, wow. Who would have thought that it got passed over back to where Reddles could have been, and that guy got demoed. And as soon as it got passed, Reddles could have just turned, redirected it into their goal, and that would have been another goal. This is the shit that I talked about. How do I know that the plays and all of that shit and everybody's not doing well? It's because I've been there. SSL and tools. Until my guy reset because I ain't played on. GC. In threes. I've seen this shit. I've been there. I've played. I might not ever be at a pro level, but I know enough about the game to know where somebody's fucking up and doing shit like that. But he does something that I'm kind of proud of him for doing, even if it ain't gonna work out. After this guy gets demoed and knowing that this guy is going back towards their net, he doesn't go immediately towards goal. Because both of them are up there right now. He don't go immediately towards goal. He's turning across to cover the other side. Just in case somebody makes a play, a shot or something, he goes up to cover the play. He might not be playing the best and making the greatest decisions, which I mean when everything's live and everything's fast, you're not going to make the greatest decisions. It's not going to happen. However, when he sees that he's making a mistake, he immediately uses his recovery skills to try and fix the situation and keep pressure on it by switching sides with his teammate and still covering everything. Might not be the greatest game sense-wise, but it's good positioning-wise. To say, no, I'm not going to go back to that. I'm going to go across, and I'm going to, keep supporting the play, just in case. It doesn't make it, because, well, both of these dumbasses have double-committed somehow. They double-committed on the right side, then both of them double-committed on the left side. You're in active boost, or he's just not recovering fast as he should be. But it gets passed up towards Arsenal, where Arsenal does have that option to either pass it back if you don't get demoed, or shoot it into their net, or even possibly push it to Daniel, if Daniel has a better position than Reddles. But you see how him positioning himself, then turning back for the ball, He was still able to cover his net and stay relevant to the play, as opposed to him just sitting in goal and letting Chicago take a free touch on him. It's important, the positioning. Game sense might be lacking a little bit for Reynolds in some situations, but his positioning is immaculate. I love that positioning. He even got, voice crack, he even got some pressure on them. Now keep in mind that this is fast movements here when it comes to that and that touch. However, he didn't have to send that. I know why he sent it, because he wants Arsenal to jump off that wall and score, and that's a very good play, high-level play. He shoots it up like that. J-Nap, especially if he gets pulled by it or jumps early, Arsenal should be able to go into the air, beat him, and score that. You know your teammates, you know what shots they're good at, what they're capable of. It's a very nice pass to Arsenal, and if Arsenal can make the shot, they're going to be looking at one goal up. If Arsenal misses or, carries it and all of that, there's still nothing lost. Even if J-Naps goes up and touches the ball, Daniel's going to be back in order, to do whatever they need to do unless he gets demoed. If Chicago misses and goes for a demo on Daniel, then, it kind of is what it is. They're kind of fucked. There's nothing they can do. That's kind of a, whoop situation, We lost control of the ball here, and then he lost control of the ball, and they took out Daniel, our back man. Whoops, shit like that happens. But when it comes down to it, you got to bear in mind that you need to think about where you're at and your positioning and whether or not you can cover the actual, shots and whatnot. In this particular case, with the score being, and I think I'm over an hour, by the way. Yep. With this particular positioning and all of this, me personally, I would pass the ball to my teammate, and then I would stay a little bit back to try and pressure them, but basically with an attack. Because I know Daniel's by himself, and I know that this guy just passed under me and is heading in a direction towards my goal. I would at least keep an eye out to make sure that my teammate's not being bumped, demoed, or something like that in this situation. Because all you gotta do is, after you pass each other, check your ball cam. If he continues to head towards your teammate and all of that, you say, oh shit, maybe I don't push up and do all of this crazy shit when I know I'm probably not gonna make it there in time. He's beyond midfield, and he has to go all the way up there as Arsenal's passing across if he doesn't go for the shot and try and score that shit. The odds of him making it there before all of this, happens and concludes, it's very slim. Unless Arsenal touches it up and, up and awkward for him to jump up and make a touch or something. Let's see if he gets demoed here. He does not get demoed here. At that time right there, as he's passing and he knows all he needs to do is head straight, he should be checking his rear view right now to see what's going on with his teammate. Whether Chicago's going to turn out and leave his teammate alone, or Chicago's going to go for a demo. Again, if Chicago gets the demo, both of you guys are way up to where you can't do anything at all to protect your net. So when the score is 0-0 and it's kind of still towards the beginning of the match, you got to make that decision consciously and quick. Do I try to go up and try to pressure and risk them hitting it over me to our net? Or do I stay back and see what's going on with my other teammate to make sure he don't get demoed and they get a free touch? Ball's up and gone. Goes through. Arsenal says, fuck that shit. And has, that kind of moment to where I can't take that shot. If I take that shot from the wall, I could possibly pass that out, to the guy that's in goal, and the guy could snipe our net. Reynolds isn't going to make it in time, and I see that Reynolds isn't going to make it in time, so there's nothing I can do. So I'm going to leave the ball and just let them make a bad touch back out to us. he makes a bad touch out to them or hits it up and then tries to hit it across the field. Arsenal can go back and, you know, cover their particular teammate and all of that shit. I don't know why Riddles is, you know, continuing on and going, you know, still towards their actual net and all of that other shit. Like I said, the odds of him making it there ain't gonna be too high. As soon as he hit that shit, your play's done. Land, leave. You say Arsenal, you're on your own, you know, you're making a solo play. Solo play, call it. Tell him, you know, do whatever the fuck you can do. Or if he says he's faking, wait for him to clear out, then go for this shit. There's no need for Riddles to go much farther than he is now. Because you're going to be expecting a hellacious boom with this much force on the road. Going that extra distance is basically pointless. Goes up, he touches it, what do you know? Riddles is using more boost to recover, and he was going towards the net. Like there was something going to happen on that net when they had two defenders sitting there. Come on, man. You really think he was going to get that shit? Recovery bounces off into their net. He went from having the boost to do something, now he's at 20 boost, and he has to head directly back. Daniel has come out of goal. Arsenal now is forced to turn around and challenge that fucking ball. Riddles, who was, you know, the kind of midfield guy that actually had the chance to, you know, do something, fully committed, and is now fucked up his recovery and has landed in their net. They are now both up. Arsenal has no choice but to stall, do something there, or at least posture long enough for Daniel to come in and take over. And Riddles needs to get into a position where he can cover what's going to happen next. Because if they're making an offensive play, and they call it offensive play, you can't go back in this situation, the Riddles situation. But if they're not making an offensive play or anything like that, then you're free to grab boost and go back a little bit. But now they have one guy that is sitting in their net. As he's not useless, because if this is a flick right now by Arsenal that makes it to Riddles or something like that and doesn't go in, Riddles could redirect that. Or at least drop it low for Arsenal to score. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Oh, well, never mind. I thought it was going to be a flick. Arsenal gets beat. I'm not surprised because Arsenal didn't challenge that first touch because he knew he was just passing it to them. Riddles overcommitted, forcing Arsenal to turn and make a challenge there. So that's just a stall. Daniel is upfield now, however. This is a real bad situation because that means Daniel has to be very careful about when he challenges. And Riddles has to be as quick as possible getting back to goal. But he has to have a good enough line to where he can pick the ball up if the ball gets by Daniel. So depending on how he comes back here and how fast and the angle that he takes dictates whether or not they're going to make it through this. It's all on Daniel right now. But they wouldn't be in this situation if Riddle had full sync. It's up. They said, fuck this shit, we're not even going to give Daniel the chance to stall us. He's going to go up and above Daniel and force Daniel to go back and apply a lot of pressure. Which means even more that Riddles needs to fucking put the pedal to the metal and get back as quick as fucking possible. However, Daniel should be able to cover up anything that's short towards goal. So Riddles only needs to cover a portion of the angles because Daniel's going to cover the rest of the angles. Arsenal, who was forced to challenge, has now reset his position back to their side except for that boost is no longer there. So now he has to try and get back despite the fact that Riddles is severely fucked in there. And I know that feeling of having to turn on some shit because your teammate full sent. I know he's upset. Goes through. They go for an air play. I mean, look, because they are pros and all of that shit, I could see where you would trust Daniel on his particular clear and all of that, and you would sit across. However, you know where all three of their positions are, Riddles. Why in the fuck are you trying to, lead beyond them? And two, why the fuck are you not picking up boost pads on your way back? Why aren't you helping your teammate cover net? I mean, you are basically telling Daniel that, hey, if you don't get this touch, we're getting scored on. Now, they are pros, not low-level SSLs. Low-level SSLs, the person in Daniel's position gets double touched every time. Every time. At 9 out of 10, every time. And that's the end. Or they get flipped, reset, or faked, or something like that. Remember what I always say. This guy right here that is in line with the ball is going to be the guy that, is going to be the sturdy guy that has the ball control. Daniel is going to be the awkward-ass angled challenger. Generally, when you have an awkward-ass angled challenger, you would either fake, go beneath him, or try something, cheeky. But essentially do some sort of fake or some sort of, in some shape or form to try and bait this particular person out. Because they're going to be in full boost trying to get back, and they're going to be coming in from the side, where he's going to be dead on to the actual ball. Chicago, I guess, is trying to read his double touch or touch off wall and all of that. That's interesting that Chicago jumped this early. But I mean, fuck, if they have a team play where they practice this shit, then it is what it is. They're all pros. So they can read that shit. Ball goes through. Daniel is... Well, he wasted a little bit of boost from there to there. Once he got supersonic, he stopped boosting. And now he's holding power slide and probably praying to God right now that he makes it. Riddles, who is kind of shadowing this and can actually probably get a better touch than Daniel in most cases, doesn't even stay. He has absolute trust in Daniel, so I guess Daniel told him he has to vote. And turns, even though they're actively touching the ball to make a play, and Daniel hasn't made it to the damn line yet. Alexa, alright, I trust you, teammate. I'm out. From here, this is dangerous as fuck. Again, I don't know why the fuck Chicago jumped from way the fuck backfield. Pre-jumping is the bane of anybody's existence. I don't know where the fuck Chicago's pre-jump came from. I don't. Again, Daniel's challenging from the side. All he has to do is just get around that shit, fake him, stop him, block him or anything like that, and take the ball down. And then Chicago, if he hadn't pre-jumped, whatever the fuck reason he did that shit for, could have came in and tried to make a play. Rebels was like, fuck it, dude, I guess he's gonna get boost and he's gonna try to cover the clear that comes from this. And Chicago kind of put himself in a bad place by pre-jumping. Arsenal, I'm going to assume, stayed upfield because he was already upfield and he knows that he ain't going to get back in time for this shit. Either they're going to clear this ball or they're going to get scored on. He's not going to get back in time for this shit. So Arsenal's probably on the other side. Probably right at about mid-boost or something, unless he goes all the way up and steals their corner boost to wait for the boom. And he's waiting on the pass. Hopefully this doesn't end like I think it's going to end, and hopefully Daniel manages to get a touch here. Because if not, this is going to be a sad first goal loss. But to be fair, when whoever the fuck this is on the blue team had the control of the ball and could have made a good play over Daniel straight to the net, decided to take it up into the air and do all kinds of other crazy shit with the ball instead of being fast. Fast would have completely nullified Daniel's ability to get back and save the ball. If he would have just been fast and put it over here in the corner, Daniel would have never been able to make it back. Pros are fast, but they ain't that fast, and Daniel was too far up. But instead, they're fucking around with the ball again. Like Redo's fucked around with the ball and lost the goal. This guy's probably fucking around with the ball about to lose a goal. It's very slow getting there. Touches it. It gets blocked off. And now Arsenal He actually got back farther than I thought he was going to come. I thought he was going to stay more, alongside mid boost and all of that, and let Riddles pick up, the next touch and all of that. I'm actually surprised Arsenal came back this far. I don't think that's very good positioning on Arsenal's half. Because even thinking about it, even if that shit went down because, was it J-Naps or was it Chicago? Whichever one of the two, pre-jump that shit's going to be, out of a position. And then the other one, even if there was to win this 50 and get the double touch, it'd be in the net. And if this guy wasn't to get a full double touch, Reynolds is going to be there to clear the ball and take control of it and do whatever he needs to do. So in essence, Arsenal doesn't really need to be here, like dead in the field. So this is actually kind of bad positioning for Arsenal. However, him being randomly here, he can demo or apply pressure to J-Naps. He can apply pressure to J-Naps because of his positioning coming back, but that's weird as fuck. The way he came back, because he was over in that corner, and you can see that his boost throw and all of that came from here, so what the fuck did he do? Did he come out and around? Like, what the fuck? What did he do? What was his rotation there? I don't know. Let's see what happens here. I'm curious to see because I don't think this is a good position, and I don't think he's not gonna be able to do much unless he gets a demo on J-Naps and takes the ball. But even if he does, Atomic might just demo him and take the ball too. What happens here? I didn't think anything was gonna come from that. Yeah, that position is weird as shit. I thought he was going to be over here like at mid-boost or something like that, waiting on that shit. But yeah, like I figured, Arsenal being positioned as weird as fuck here didn't do much, and now the ball's just kind of free. If Arsenal would have been here from the start and all of that, he would have been able to get a little bit more pressure, and Rose would have been able to push up a little more, and they could have made a smoother play. But he did end up where, questionable and unequal where he should have been, but that positioning out here in the field was weird as fuck. That is very weird, especially because the way how Daniel was saving that from the start. This is very weird fucking positioning for Arsenal to be at, especially sandwiched between two of them. I don't get that. That's a moment. Arsenal gets beat. I mean, no surprise. Again, he had shitty-ass positioning to start with, but he's going up and he's trying to recover. That's the thing about players that are very resilient. When they fuck up and they misposition themselves, they can go back to the ball and keep pressuring it because of their excessive speed and recovery skills. So it's still no harm, no foul, but that positioning is jank as fuck. Both of them are there to make a play. However, you see that if Arsenal is going to take this, he's already pointed out to try something here. So Reynolds needs to either speed up to try to keep up with the play, try to go for a demo, try to do something, or he needs to go wide just in case Arsenal doesn't score whatever he's trying to score. Right now, J-Naps is the only thing stopping Arsenal. And if it does get past Arsenal, that's going to go right over Reynolds. It's going to go right over. Daniel's going to have to pick that shit up. And what's going to happen is if the ball goes over Reynolds, it's going to go to Daniel. Reynolds is just going to continue along his way forward. And Daniel's just going to pass back to Reynolds. But it's also like, why put yourself in this particular position and have to rely on your back teammate when you could be positioned differently and, help your teammate with the play? Well, J-Naps is heading backwards anyway, so that's that. Even more if J-Naps is already heading backwards. JNAPS ain't challenging this shit. Arsenal has free ability because this guy, Atomic, is coming back and he's heading in this direction to probably cover net. JNAPS has then gave Arsenal all of this position and pressure and all of this shit. Reynolds needs to either get farther out and head out this way, or he needs to go, hey Arsenal, I'm right behind you and all that, I'm gonna pass you or something, or I'm going for a demo or something, hold it, I'm going for a demo. Some shit. He needs to call something out to let him know that he doesn't need to send this ball right now and go for that shot. Go beyond that shit and then try to, just, a little bit in front of the shot and then go for a bump on Atomic or something like that. They need to somehow formulate a play here. JNAP's fucked up and is challenging all of that shit. Now he's heading backwards, giving Arsenal this little bit of quarter full of space. If they use this space the right way, they can make a goal. If they don't use the space the right way, again, it's kind of no harm, no foul, because they have Daniel back that can pick that shit up on the other side. Keep in mind that we can only see two of the defenders. The third defender could be anywhere. Could be about ready to demo him, could be on the opposite side in their corner, could be over, in blue corner, could be an orange corner, could be midfield, could be anywhere. I don't particularly remember. I think Arsenal's about to jump off the fucking wall and then try to shoot this shit in the opposite corner, and Atomic's gonna save this shit across. That's what I see happening. But I mean, as he was going up, JNAPS was leaving him space and all of that. You would like for Atomic to control this and then, make a play with his teammate. If not, this teammate should realize that he's going for a solo dolo and he should be going. Instead, Reynolds comes through and takes the shot, so I guess Reynolds says, I got it. Or Arsenal says, fuck it, dude. Problem with this is the entirety of this. You see that JNAPS doesn't really have a lot of control here, so he knows he's going to beat JNAPS. And you see that Atomic is kind of sort of at his goal. So even if you are going to hit the shit, you should either be putting it behind Atomic, or you should be aiming, over here in the opposite corner, a fast banger shot. Instead, when he comes in, he just kind of stays with it. Risk JNAPS getting some sort of weird-ass recovery. I would be shocked if he got a fucking recovery and got ball there. But risking this going to happen here because he's trying to stay fast and all that shit, he gets a misangled touch that could have possibly been in their net. As you can see, JNAPS goes for it. He hits it up. Atomic is already up doing whatever. JNAPS goes up doing whatever, It's kind of a damn situation. Keep in mind that in this particular situation, again, JNAPS is challenging awkward. And Reynolds has the strong straight-on touch. He could have easily went for, a low 50 or a pinch or something, anything for ball control there. Because you have the advantage when you're straight on the ball, and he was going across. So he could have done anything there to maintain that ball control or anything like that. Worst case scenario, it pinches, over to the right side of the map and all that. You guys play it from there. Going forward, the ball is up and behind, awkward for Atomic. I'm curious as to why Atomic did what he did and didn't just stay where he was. But this is interesting. Goes up, Atomic tries to go for the touch. Reynolds goes for the demo on JNAPS, which is great, because now we know that, their other guy ain't here. So him demoing here, Arsenal's already about and getting ready to challenge the ball, so if Arsenal is challenging, you don't need to turn back for that ball. This is a very good demo. Boom. Daniel's also up too. So yeah, if Daniel's up, definitely the right play here was for Riddles to go for a demo, and then Arsenal and Daniel to try and make a play, and then Riddles stay somewhere in the area until it looks like it's going to be dangerous and be sent back. However, there's one thing that's bad about this. If this smoke screen fucks up Daniel, that shit's gonna go all the way back over his head into the net, because he won't be able to see what the fuck's going on. I can't tell the angle. I don't think it's in front of Daniel, but you never know. Arsenal. No, Arsenal does not challenge. He's just kind of chilling. I wonder why they called Arsenal off for this. He must have had, like, absolutely zero boost, because that's odd for Arsenal to be there. And then for Riddles to challenge that, go across, demo somebody, and then for Daniel to come out of goal all the way across to challenge that, before Arsenal makes any challenges. That's odd. Why did that happen like that? Why isn't Arsenal taking the advantage of the fact that JNaps is challenged and fell off the wall, giving you the ability to go up? Chicago is in an awkward position and happened to try and clear that. Or Atomic, was it Chicago or Atomic? One of the two were in an awkward position, and that side of the goal was just straight up open. I wonder why that didn't get converted into a play there. I mean, it's all a fast-paced game, so I don't know. I wonder how this ended up like this. Now, Arsenal is flipping back, and Riddles is, well, boost dumping, once again, trying to get back. It goes up, Arsenal gets the touch. Remember what I'm saying about this. When it comes to some situation, you're better off not boost dumping. Because look at how fast Riddles is coming back, and look how fast this play is going. If this guy makes it there, and Riddles tries to make a save, the only thing he can do is try and pop that shit off the wall and around. If he takes the time to power slide and gets a better touch, he can probably pop it out, around about this area. But their entire team is covering where he can, make that save from. So even if he does get a save anywhere on this wall or anything like that, or tries to get around it and hit it back out, it's going right into the fucking lines then. Plus, Arsenal is already there, taking precedence on that save. If Arsenal can't get that touch and it goes into the net, that's on him. You don't need to get yourself involved in that shit. That's on him. You don't need to go all the way back, to your net and then curve in right there. You should be reading where this clear is going to be, and you should be following that up and sending it and making a play. Daniel's still somewhat good, and again, Daniel doesn't need to be boost dumping and heading back either. If Arsenal has this safe, he can hit it up to him on wall, he can pass it over to Daniel on the other side, and they can make, a very fast play. Is it going to guarantee a goal? No, because they have people back. But either at any point in time, he can catch the ball and make a play. Daniel can catch the ball and make a play. And at the end of the day, it still allows the orange team to get boost and, do whatever it is that they need to do. Now, again, pros have a lot of speed and a lot of things like that, so he's probably not going to have any trouble going up the wall and picking this up and getting this ball that's being cleared. But if he hadn't wasted his time and coming all the way back and then having to, go up the wall and making types of weird challenges and shit like that, he might have had better positioning to handle this ball faster than picking it up on the other side. He could pick it up as it's being sent, which is a faster play, which puts more pressure on the other team. Again, this is happening in super fast motion, so you can't be, too much of a stickler about it and any of that, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go much farther on this replay. I'm just saying some things like that are replay game. From here, I'm just going to kind of play the rest of the match out unless I see something worth talking about. But I mean, just look at the things like that when people are doing them. things are happening actively. You got to keep in mind that, you know, they don't have time to make super huge decisions and all of that. Because, I mean, money's on the line, and this is like the ultimate rank against players that are at the same level or better than you are. Keep that in mind. So bang, up, awkward, tries to make a play, gets over two, but then he runs out of gas. His teammates come in and they're making another play, and then they come over for a transition. Very good play. Again, if he hadn't boost jumped or boost dumped trying to get back here and read Arsenal save, he wouldn't have had to do this little bit of awkwardness right here and do all of that crazy shit. He could have been positioned up to just take that shit and go. No awkwardness, no ball manipulation, all of that. Bro, that would have been his goal right there before any and all of that shit happened. But because he stalled the ball well enough for his teammates to get in better positions, even though he lost the ball at the end, he made them pop it up behind him, which gives his teammates a chance to pass back to him and for him to score. And that's what you like to see. Instead of your teammate shooting the ball like they do in Champ, you would like to see the pass be made back to the teammate that originally had the ball, because he can angle the ball in wherever the hell he needs to. Whereas people that are back shoot the ball predictably and they can pick it up. That's a good play. From there, now that the goal has been scored, and all of them are happy as fuck and all of that, that's where I'm going to cut this Q1 off and everything else off up. And you see the full play of all that, and you see, or you can notice one thing. One, all of them are goofy as hell. Two, none of them played exceptionally good or exceptionally bad. They just played. They did their thing. Each of them handled their position exactly how they were supposed to handle their position. It might not have been, you know, the greatest, perfectest game in the world, and you're never going to find a perfect Rocket League game, no matter what level of play you get to. However, Reddles is not better than Arsenal, and Arsenal is not better than Reddles. They each played their respective positions perfectly. So I don't know how the fuck anybody in the goddamn community can say that one person's better than the other and all of this other bullshit. At the end of the day is, even though they all played their positions like they're supposed to, they were outclassed, outmatched, outskilled. And unfortunately, this ain't let's just spend the year training and then, you know, try again next year type of thing. It's like, no, you had the entire year to train prior to this, and you still lost. So we need to get better players so we can get these victories. If you have a worker who you've given, you know, years and all of that shit, a year to improve so they can win a competition, and they don't win the competition, you don't continue to invest money and shit into it and say, we'll go next year, champ. No. You trade that person off. You know, you look at your team and all of that, and you see, you know, what exactly that you're missing. And out of the statistics, you know, get rid of the player you think, you know, can't necessarily push that over to the championship. And I think they were finalists or some shit, weren't they? So it's like, you know, you guys got beat, dog walked even, and unfortunately, we're going to have to make some roster changes. You guys didn't win the tournament. You had a year worth of training and all of that. You guys couldn't pull it off. So, instead of investing another year worth of money and training and all of that other shit, we're just going to hire this guy who has, you know, better stats than you do, plays better than you do, and all of that. We can only spend a month worth of time and money getting him used to the team and all of that. And, yeah, we've just increased our power. Those of you that think it's unfair, I would like for you to play an RPG style game, or any type of game that requires you to gain stats through equipment, you know, Elden Ring and things like that. And think about how easy it is to take a base level dog shit weapon that nobody likes, that does like no damage, and keep leveling it up to level 25, where you can sort of kill bosses, but it's a little bit difficult, versus saying fuck that weapon and changing it out for, you know, a super magical spell or a super magical weapon that does, you know, a lot more damage, or slightly less damage at its base level, and then you can level that up to level 25, and then you can even one-tap some bosses and really have an easy time winning boss battles. And that's kind of the way things go in like RPGs and shit, where your equipment defines your defense and all of that. Nobody's saying that Riddles is trash and all that, you know. He might be a legendary helmet or something like that that gives you 1,000 defense. However, the guy that they're hiring is a legendary helmet that gives you 1,100 defense. That's 100 defense difference. You're going to take the better helmet, because it wouldn't make any sense not to switch the helmet out. They're both legendary. One's just 100 better. The only way things are different is if you have some sort of emotional attachment to something that you really don't know. And at the end of the day, as much as you know the items that are on the screen, that's about as much as you know the players that are on the screen. The players, they're people. You have no idea anything about them. You don't know a damn thing about them or anything. Yeah, it sucks. Your favorite player on your favorite team or some shit gets traded out to another team. Just be glad his career's not over. What if they would have retired that man and told him that he'll never play in the RLCS again? What if that would have happened instead? Count your blessings that he's still playing on another team. Because there are some old, you know, tournament winners that no longer play in the actual tournaments anymore. They're done. They're done and retired. They will never set foot in the LCS again. Or whatever the fuck, the winner, or whatever the fuck this is called. They will never, ever, ever, ever step foot on that stage again. They were basically forced into retirement because they were washed. So again, keep happy, or be happy, that your favorites are still playing, and they haven't been fired or let go or dropped out of the series of whatever they're in. Now, Redo's going to a new team is an upgrade for, you know, that team probably. That team's probably like, man, we need an upgrade. We need somebody who's more mechanically different. They have, you know, an epic helmet that does 800 defense. Redo's is a helmet that does 1,000 defense. They're like, oh yeah, give me that motherfucker right here. I'm gonna put that shit on, you know. As they say, I'm not calling them trash, but another man's trash is another man's treasure. He goes to another team that, let's say, is even better than SSG or some shit. And they have higher stats all the way around, and, you know, Riddle's getting there, and then, you know, they end up, you know, Riddle's new team ends up having an MMR of 1,300, whereas the other team with Arsenal and all of them and having even a better person than Riddle's ends up having 1,200 MMR. And Riddle's new team wins. It doesn't mean that it was a mistake to trade Riddle's out, because even if he would have stayed on that team, they probably would have still lost that match. And it has nothing to do with the players and all that. It's just kinda where you are. Same as with the other side. If Rose gets traded out and then they beat Rose's new team with the new guy, that doesn't justify that Riddles is bad or anything like that. She's still good. It's just like everywhere else. I mean, you're going to be replaced by rubber eventually. It's just is what it is. The ends do not justify the means. The means do not justify the ends. It goes both ways in this particular case. But either way, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. Somebody asked me to show them the pinning script, so I said, fuck it, I'll jump on, I'll show them the pinning script and all of that. So they can pin their shit. And then, as I was going through and looking at all of these statements and comments and messages, and people still email me, which is cool, but still, to this day, I just see people just talking all kinds of shit. Plus, I commented and did that Q1 off, talking about that shit briefly about business and all of that, and I'm just like, instead of going in and going all through shit and showing everything else and making this huge thing, I figured I would just say my own 2 cents on it. I'm not going to say anything else on it because I really don't give a shit. Let me be more brutally honest. I don't give a fuck about anything Rocket League concerned. I don't. I could care less about the RLCS and all of that shit. I've only watched like 3 matches in my entire life. I leave my computer on Twitch and shit when I go, to the bathroom or something to see if I can get like a drop or something to play with. But I don't care about the RLCS. I don't care about Rocket League anymore. The community's too toxic. I don't care about teams. I don't even know who's on each individual team anymore. I don't care. Rocket League holds no value in my life. I wouldn't even call it a hobby. It's just content. It's stream fodder. It's something that I can load up easily and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about and I can play it. I put so much time into it. In the past, it was love, it was life. Now the community and the free-to-play and all the other bullshit has ruined it. So I don't care about Rocket League. I don't care. I hope the game crashes and burns and I have to release the Rocket League too. It's my hopes. So I can put a price tag on that shit. And people actually have to pay for their accounts again. And we ain't gotta worry about, free-to-play people just making a shit-ton amount of fucking smurfs and just being toxic. People coming in from all different sorts of, sources. And being toxic when they don't even know what they're talking about. Things like that. So, yeah. At the end of the day, I don't care. Riddles, I don't care. I don't care about any of that shit. But you know what that makes me? That makes me pretty fucking unbiased. I'm not gonna look at the final shit and all of that. I'm not gonna look at their public responses and then make a decision off of the shit that's all there. I'm gonna go back to their past games. And I'm going to review one of the random ass past games. I just typed in SSG versus I hit enter. And that was the first shit that popped up on my damn screen. And I looked through and I looked the shit up and I seen that Rebels had released that particular thing with their communications and shit. So I said, cool. The topic's about Rebels, so I will review shit based off of his own content from his perspective and whatnot. Everybody that I see says that Riddles is better than Arsenal, so I'm going to do it from Riddles' perspective. If Riddles is better than Arsenal, Arsenal will be fucking up like people said, and I'll just be sitting there laughing and talking about how Arsenal's fucking up. Both Riddles and Arsenal kind of fucked up the same amount. Keep in mind, Riddles was the main scorer, the powerhouse man, so he had to go for more touches and shit like that at the end of the day. So he has more leniency because he's going to have more ball control and have to keep up with shit. He did a good job of what he was doing. Whereas Arsenal was more towards the back man, defending the net, shit like that, keeping the ball moving making the decisions, the hard decisions that require wit. He handled his position. Daniel's kind of just, the back and forth, man. He's supposed both of them. Arsenal the brains, Ruddles the power, Daniel the, what do you call it? I forgot the name of the word. I'm just going to say the support for now. So it's like, they did pretty good. That's my final thoughts. I'm going to give you final statements. I'm going to get the fuck off of this shit because I'm almost at 2 hours in like 14 minutes. My final statements is SSG played well as a team. They did well as a team. They communicated as a team. They played as a team. All of them had rules. They played their rules and all of that pretty well. I don't care what's happening now or what the last tournament match of whatever league or whatever the fuck they were playing. I don't care what that looks like. Everything went corporate throughout that shit. Because everybody's like, well, there was a time where everything happened and Arsenal was just staying sullen and brought his team's morale down. And they just kept going on comments like that. It's like, well, Arsenal knew that, Reynolds was going bye-bye. Corporate shit. He was the figurehead. They knew that Reynolds was going bye-bye. Regardless of the reason and all this other shit, it's irrelevant to me. I don't give a shit. I don't have any physical. I hope I don't have any physical attachment. I don't have any type of attachments to the actual players on that team. I can give a shit less about any of them because I don't personally know them. They're just people to me. So, is it a shame that they lost the player? Yeah, but I mean, that's life. Businesses lose people all the time. Good people, hard workers, shit like that. They get fired all the time. It doesn't matter if you're good, bad, sad, or whatever. If the business wants you gone, it's gone. I had a coworker that I used to work with at, back when I used to work at O'Reilly Auto Parts. He was the hardest worker there and busted his ass and never got anything in return to it. He got ridiculed. He got made fun of. He got put on the shit shift. No matter how he did, the rest of the staff would leave the floors and shit nasty when they left, expecting us to clean them up at night. Which we did. They need to come in anyway. And be like, oh, well, you didn't respond one day. Well, you're a piece of shit. Like shit like that. Heavily abusive. Heavily shit like that. And the guy said, fuck it, I don't need this shit. I'll quit. He quit. Went to work at another, I'm just going to say it's in a little place. And he's making stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks. And he's not even doing a hard job for the particular workplace. He started out at $35 an hour. Got quickly promoted up to $50 an hour because, well, he's a super hard worker and won't leave until the job's done. And he's living life. Living the absolute fucking life. And I'm kind of glad that things happen that way because his potential was being wasted. Because the only thing he could ever become after that is assistant manager and then take over the store. Being a store manager for O'Reilly Auto Parts don't pay worth a fucking shit. Unless you're greedy as fuck and don't give people bonuses and shit like that, and you keep the shit to yourself. My store manager, by the way. So unless you're greedy and keep most of the shit for yourself, you're not really going to make much as an O'Reilly store manager. So I'm happy that he found his way, and he ended up, doing what he needed to do. And that's what we're going to hope for Riddles. Hopefully he finds a better place that pays, more and does more for him. And he manages to further improve himself and make a name for himself and continue on. That's all you can hope for. Now, what I think is annoying is people talking shit to him and, you know, all of that other shit. Dude just got fired. He don't need, you know, 500,000 people going to his shit and saying, haha, you got fired, bitch. Haha, haha. It's like all of you have probably experienced that shit. Leave the fucking man alone. Let him get over this shit on his own. And let him continue on with his own life. Quit being fucking dickheads about the shit. It's me personally, I just fucking ban you all. Every single one of y'all coming in and saying some shit. Ban, ban, ban. I will ban 1.5 million people if I have to, because you're being fucking stupid. I don't care. It's part of his livelihood and all of that, streaming and all of that, and that's where he gets money from. But I could have 15 million subscribers. I'd probably have 100 million banned if I was to get 15 million subscribers, and I would not give a damn. Wouldn't care. Wouldn't care. If you're acting stupid, you're getting banned. That's basically where I'm at right now. That is my policy. You're acting stupid, you're getting banned. You come in being annoying, you don't read the description that says some shit, you come in asking dumb questions, saying stupid things, trying to start up drama and a whole bunch of other shit. I'm not gonna mess with you. I'm just gonna instantly ban you. Banned. Goodbye. Don't come back. YouTube's nice, and when you're banned on YouTube, you can still view the content and listen to what's going on, you just can't communicate. Twitch, on the other hand, is a little bit more of a savage. So if you're gonna do something stupid, I suggest you do it on YouTube side. However, you'll probably get away with it more often on Twitch side. Because, well, I have to go to Twitch to ban you. Whereas, restream-wise, I can just click on your damn name and then go, oh, block on YouTube. Boom. Or block off restream. Boom, if I don't want to see your messages anymore. Either way, I'm out. Peace. Walk your dog.